and welcome to this edition of News Leader on 6. Today is Tuesday, July 7th, 2020. I'm Andrew Todd. In tonight's news, we'll bring you video from the brick paver dedication at the Blue and Gold Memorial on Saturday, and we'll hear from some of the candidates for the 2 open Tullahoma alderman seats. We'll have all these stories and more on tonight's News Leader on 6.
Hello, I'm Ray Noes. This is a critical time in Tullahoma. On August the 6th, voters will have an opportunity to elect a new mayor, one who can provide proven, experienced leadership, one who knows how to get things done and keep Tullahoma moving. I recognize the value of Tullahoma's excellent school system. Our system is recognized as one of the best in the state, and I'll ensure that our schools continue at that level. I will not vote to raise property taxes in order to have a balanced budget until all other options have been exhausted. I'll work closely with our city staff to ensure that my fiscally conservative values are incorporated. Now, I've served on all city boards involved in economic development. I see that as a way that we can broaden our tax base and avoid a property tax rate increase. Some developers have had issues with our planning and codes department. I'll commit to these improvements. There'll be consistency in the instructions from planning and codes without changes from day to day. And there'll be predictable timelines for providing delivery dates for plan reviews, permits, and inspections, timelines that will be met reliably. Now, while we can't do much about the traffic on 41A and 55, we can improve our local streets and sidewalks, and this I commit to do. So I ask for your vote for proven, experienced leadership.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
John Gray went out to the Veterans Blue and Gold Star Memorial at the Caboose Park in Tullahoma on Saturday and brings back video of the second installment of memorial brick pavers at the location.
I want to welcome our visitors and thank our residents for being here. Today's Independence Day. What better way to celebrate 244 years of independence than to thank our veterans for the freedoms we enjoy. So today we dedicate this special memorial in their honor.
At this time, if you would, please stand if you are able. Remove your hats as our colors come forth. Ladies and gentlemen, the Marine Corps Junior ROTC Color Guard.
Good morning. Good morning. Today we celebrate the names of each person and family represented on these bricks. Years from now, our country will look and sound different. Change is something that happens to us all, and it will most likely happen to our very own country. There is only one thing that cannot change if we remain one of the most significant countries in the world. That is our freedom. Freedom is the power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants, without hindrance or restraint. Freedom is what makes our country free. We are free to talk, free to exercise religion, freedom to use our conscience, free to go anywhere, and free to pursue whatever dream we could imagine. These freedoms are the bedrock, the cornerstone of our country. And as our flag still waves, and as our servicemen and women continue to make their sacrifices, we will forever be free. Other things may change around us, but our freedom cannot. Months and years later, there will be visitors to this park. Some will come and see the names engraved on these bricks. To the families that these names represent, there is a history and a story. Maybe it was the beaches of Normandy, the deserts of Iraq, the mountains of Italy, or Afghanistan, the jungles of Vietnam and Korea, the many oceans that cover our world, the vast airspace that goes from horizon to horizon, or guarding the great nation against domestic or foreign threats. All of these stories are different and unique to each serviceman and women. But with each event and all these different stories, there is a thread that weaves this sidewalk together. That thread is their love for our country. Anyone can raise their hand and pledge, but it's their selfless act of respect for the country that they complete their mission. What gives these men and women loyalty, courage, bravery, commitment, and sacrifice to cross enemy lines? It's when they see their flag that has the red and white stripes and the blue banner with the white stars. They know it represents families, churches, homes, communities, states, and so much more. We are one country. We are the United States of America. These bricks are just a snapshot of a small fraction of warriors and part of a broader U.S. military force. Their names are engraved, but their stories and sacrifice live on. So many have already passed away, and some are standing here today. They served not for applause, but for you and your family and our country. They sacrificed so that you and I can still enjoy our great freedoms for years and generations to come. I hope you find the time to say thank you to them. This park, in a way, does just that. If you listen quietly while the wind passes by and through our great flag, you can hear it just say that simple yet powerful gesture. Thank you. I served in Iraq, and that was probably one of the most difficult times for my family, but we got through. It's because people like you and families that stick together for our freedom and for our flag. We live in the greatest country. And these bricks right here is a memorial to those people. I want to say thank you to my brothers and sisters in arms who have laid down their lives, who are not standing here with us today. But their stories, like I said, will live on forever if we keep pursuing the greatest gift that our country has, and that's its freedom. So I say this: may God bless you and your family, and may God bless America. Thank you.
And we'll be right back with more News Leader on 6.
It's not Invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. Get to Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
You made the time and the sacrifice to broaden their horizons, to see their smiles, but mostly to make lifelong memories. We think it's time to do it again, just the two of you. Don't let illness or injury slow you down. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
Welcome back. Shady Grove Garden Club's Sandy Sebring also spoke at the brick dedication at the Blue and Gold Memorial on Saturday morning.
Good morning. It's a great day to be in Tullahoma, Tennessee on the 4th of July. Don't you agree? Yes. On behalf of the Shady Grove Garden Club, we are excited to have the second dedication consisting of 87 engraved pavers in the Veterans Memorial Walk. At this time, there's 492 engraved pavers. I was asked yesterday, how did this memorial come about? And so I just stood there and told him that about 75 years ago, there was a garden club in New Jersey, and they wanted to honor the returning veterans from World War II. And so their vision was to create a memorial. And out of that desire came the Blue Star Memorial. It is to honor anyone and everyone who has worn the uniform of the armed forces at any time. And then later, the Gold Star Memorial was created, and that is a tribute to the families who have lost a loved one in the service of our country. With help, these memorials are nationwide, and they can only be sponsored by a garden club. And so we are just so happy that we have this here in Tullahoma at this time, because it is truly for the community all around. With help from the American Legion Post 43, the Tullahoma Historical Society, numerous businesses and organizations, our club was able to accrue donations to come to build that memorial. And this memorial was dedicated on May 2019 by the Garden Club of Tennessee. And it's my pleasure to recognize our District 2 Director of the Tennessee Federated Garden Clubs, Pam Braun, who is here today. She actually made the dedication last May, and we're just so happy. She lives in Franklin, so happy that she could join us today. I would also like to mention, in conjunction with the American Legion, that an invitation has been extended to everyone to go across the street after the program for refreshments. They have been supplied by the American Legion and the Ladies Auxiliary. So go over and get something cool to drink, and thank our Commander Alan Harris and the ladies of the Auxiliary. This 69-foot walk connects the memorials to the history of Tullahoma, the railroad, and Camp Forrest. Now there will be, mentioning Camp Forrest, Dr. Bradley has written the script for another sign just like that one, and it will be installed right here, which deals specifically with Camp Forrest, because that's why this site was so important. This was where the troops, the young men and women, were disembarked to go to Camp Forrest and train to then be sent to the Pacific and Europe for World War II. But it would be just a piece of concrete, except for the fact that you made this park come alive with the names of your loved ones who have been engraved here. Come alive. We read them, we appreciate them, we relate to them. It's generational. It's family. And your love goes on. For with the money from the sale of these pavers, we were able to accrue enough to have a scholarship fund. So by spring of 2021, the Shady Grove Garden Club will be issuing scholarships to graduating seniors of veterans who are going on to higher education. Thank you so much for your support and participation. Enjoy your park. It has been a pleasure. Thank you.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
I'm Philip Bourne, Stamping Nab Detail Shop Manager. Here are a few things our customers have to say about our service.
What I love most about the Stem McNabb Detail Shop is there's someone local that I can trust to pick up my car, have it cleaned, and deliver it back to me in showroom condition.
What really amazed me is when he opened the hood and looked like he had taken the old engine out and put a new engine inside.
We have several different packages and individual services to get your vehicle looking like new again. We're located just behind Stem McNabb Chevrolet dealership. Call today, schedule an appointment, and see what a difference our detail can make.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
Welcome back. John Gray spoke with 3 of the Tullahoma Alderman candidates, Ashley Shockley, Robin Dunn, and Jenna Amacher, to learn a little about them.
Ashley Collinsworth Shockley. And Ashley, welcome to Insight.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. And the first thing I want to do is thank you for your willingness to serve our community.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And I want you to first tell us just a little bit about Ashley.
Oh, about Ashley. Well, I moved here when I was 6. My parents were looking for a better life for my brother and I. We came from a small town in Louisiana, and we didn't have as good as opportunities down there as we would here. And so we moved for good schools, more opportunities, and I was raised in Tullahoma. I was a very active member with First United Methodist Church. I was with the Tullahoma Marching Band. I also was in the Aristocats show choir, and just pretty much anything to do with Tullahoma,
You were there.
I was pretty much there, yeah.
You were there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell our audience a little bit about Robin Dunn.
Sure. Well, I grew up in Tullahoma. My dad was stationed here whenever I went into 2nd grade, so I've grown up in Tullahoma for many years, right? I went to UT after I graduated from Tullahoma High School, and while I was in Knoxville, I met my husband, Josh, and we moved back about 9 years ago, and we've got 3 wild children, and they're a lot of fun. They keep me busy. So I
see a gray streak showing up.
Well, actually, you know who should claim this? This should be the class of 2005, 2006. So I taught for 13 years in public schools,
okay.
and I enjoyed it so much. But right now I've got a tutoring business, and that's been really nice because I've been able to spend more time with my family, and
Good for you.
It's been awesome. It's so
Good
fun.
for you.
So fun.
So the biggest thing that I'm running on is fiscal conservatism, and or more or less fiscal responsibility. So as an alderman, we're very limited in a lot of the decisions that we get to make. We're a legislative body. We do get to appoint to some boards, but all in all, we get to decide how your tax dollars are spent. And I believe that, we have to make sure that we are making decisions that are in the best interest of the entire community and not just a faction or for the time being. I do believe we do need to get out of the grant mentality somewhat of, okay, we have a grant for this, let's do it, and at that time we're not thinking about the long-term aspects of maintenance, post-expenditure, and post-grant that we're going to have to keep up with.
And we'll be right back with more about the Tullahoma Alderman candidates after these messages.
Here at Stan McNabb Collision Center, we work with all major insurance companies, and we get the job done right the first time, on time.
Well, I grew up in Tullahoma. We'd always done business with Stan McNabb, so when we needed collision service after a run-in with a deer, we knew to call those guys. We already had trust with them. We called Cody. He took great care of us. He kept us posted every step of the way, and we couldn't have been more pleased.
Getting your vehicle back to pre-loss condition shouldn't be a headache. So in event of an accident, contact me, Cody Hall, at Stan McNabb Collision Center.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
He's a little bit of you, he's a little bit of me. He's the trash along the roadside of Tennessee. He's the garbage that we find. He's the dream we left behind. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash. traveling man, but a little bit of litter goes a long, long way. Growing and a growing, getting bigger every day. Tennessee trash messing up the highways. Tennessee trash junking up the byways. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash.
We have met the enemy, and he is us.
Welcome back. John Gray also asked the alderman candidates what Tullahoma means to them.
I'm going to go with an easy, and first thing that came to mind is it's home. It's home to innovative minds. It's home to loving churches. It's home to some of the most creative people you'll see, and home to insanely gifted athletes. And it's home. I mean, what else can I say?
Well, I've got a twofold answer. The first one is risk takers. So when this city was founded, however many years ago, 150?
Something like
yeah,
at least.
So, I mean, there is no occupation more risky than agriculture. So, I mean, I come from a long line of family farmers, and it's risky. You know, 150 years ago, if you were raising a farm, there wasn't anything to bail you out or to help you. If you lost your crop, that was it. So and we've continued that tradition. We've definitely had huge influence from military, and so we are risk takers. And I think our latest chapter in risk takers in Tullahoma is our entrepreneur spirit. We've got a company in town that's got a flagpole that they put on the moon. We've got a company in town that is building mining equipment for asteroids. We have people who are taking risks as entrepreneurs, and as the city of Tullahoma, we're teaming up with Motlow, we're teaming up with TVA to try to help encourage people who are wanting to take that leap of faith and follow their passion, help them walk through that. Right now you can go to Motlow and you can take a class on how to set up an internet site. Like, you know, if your passion is mowing lawns, or your passion is getting into cars and being a mechanic, you don't have time to learn how to use WordPress. So they'll walk you through that and get you, you've got your website ready to go so that you can reach more customers and continue to grow your business. Right. And I think I'll speak for my husband right now. That's going to be a major reason why we're going to be able to grow our economy in Tullahoma. Is we want mom and pop shops. We want people starting in their basement to be able to hire other people to work with them. So my husband has hired not too long ago one of my former students who is helping him, and my husband has a lawn care business. Right. And what's really exciting about this is to see him. He drove down the street just the other day, and his helper said, "Hey, I bought this new truck because through working with you, I'll be able to make this payment." Right. So that's economy right there. Sure. And so I love that Tullahoma, we are very self-sufficient in that manner, and that's why our economy has still, even though whatever's happening in all over the world, we're doing much better than most. So we're risk takers. The second thing we're volunteers. And of course, we got that nickname from the Alamo, so we've owned that for a long time too. And of course, again, we're a military town. We've answered the call in that way. But in more recent ways, I don't know how many millions of dollars in service people have put into this community because they want to read to kids at school. They want to go to nursing homes and help there. The rain garden that we planted the other day, the only thing that was paid for was the plants. Everything else was volunteers. Whether it was, we had experts from the University of Tennessee came in and told us how we needed to get set up. We had people from local gardening clubs designed it out. We had a dozen volunteers in there with shovels and all that. I mean, that could not have happened on the budget that I had to work with. Right. So it was all on volunteers. So that's Tullahoma. We're volunteers and we're risk takers.
Well, I believe that we are a small, homegrown community born from the railroad. We are known as Tennessee's Rising Star. I believe that we are a micropolitan area that's been ranked very high in entrepreneurial ability. And you know, we have the best of all the worlds. We have the distilleries close by, the lakes, the natural areas, the parks, the great school system. Tullahoma is a great place to live and work.
And don't forget to tune in to this week's Living Show tonight at 6:30 p.m., Thursday morning at 9 a.m., and Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evenings at 6:30 p.m. This week's guests include Fran Gray from Alzheimer's Tennessee, who has an announcement about a joint venture with Home Instead. Rupert Blackwell will stop by to invite citizens to help with local park upkeep. All that and more on this week's Living. And stay with us, we'll have your weather forecast right after these messages.
Here at Stan McNabb Collision Center, we work with all major insurance companies, and we get the job done right the first time, on time.
Well, I grew up in Tullahoma. We'd always done business with Stan McNabb, so when we needed collision service after a run-in with a deer, we knew to call those guys. We already had trust with them. We called Cody. He took great care of us. He kept us posted every step of the way, and we couldn't have been more pleased.
Getting your vehicle back to pre-loss condition shouldn't be a headache. So in the event of an accident, contact me, Cody Hall, at Stan McNabb Collision Center.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's gotta be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this moment, starting with your weather history on this date. Our record high was in 1930 at 101 degrees. The record low was in 1972 at 50 degrees. The average high for this day is 87 and the average low is 67. Chance of storms for tonight with a low of 68. Scattered storms for Wednesday with a high of 86 and a low of 70. And some evening storms for Thursday with a high of 88 and a low of 70. And that's our news leader report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday evening at 6, 8, and 10 for News Leader on 6. Stay safe and have a great evening.